We can confirm that the shooter had 2 handguns on his person when he was located. Those handguns are both 9mm. He also had additional magazines and ammunition on his person. Our investigative team did work with our federal ATF partners to trace those weapons, and we have learned that they were purchased legally by the shooter, but they were not registered. We can also confirm that a note was found on the shooter, and the location that the shooter was located was roughly 3.8 miles northwest of campus. As I said, the Michigan State Police is here today, and they will share additional information about that shooting scene. We want to thank all of our local, county, state, and federal partners for all of their assistance that they've provided throughout this investigation. The investigative assistance that we've received after the initial incident has been absolutely overwhelming as well. As the interim president said, we'd also like to thank the media for being active partners throughout this investigation. Your ability to share our information while understanding the sensitive nature and having compassion for the families is very much appreciated. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Lieutenant Renee Gonzalez from the Michigan State Police. We will be available for questions at the end. Renee.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Rosman.
It appears based on the content of the note that he felt that he was slighted in some way by people or businesses. Did a mental health issue amplify that, or was it a component of that? We're not sure at this point. I just want to assure everybody that that's the question on all of our minds, and we're working our best to try to determine that as best as possible. And we've committed to sharing accurate information, and I don't have an accurate answer for you right now other than to say that we continue to look at that and attempt to determine the actual motive.
Our detectives responded to Lake Lansing Road and Larch Street where a subject matching the MSU shooting suspect, Anthony McCray, was observed walking. What had happened is the LPD officers received a call that subject matching that description was walking down the street, and this was on Lake Lansing Road near Larch Street, city of Lansing. Officers made contact, 2 LPD officers made contact with the shooter, approximately 20 feet from McCray. They exited their vehicle, ordered him to show his hands. However, he produced a weapon and then killed himself. It does appear that from the body-worn camera that McCray did not verbalize anything to the officers prior to him shooting himself or taking his own life. Once they had waited for 2 additional state security officers to arrive on scene, they walked up to the shooter who was laying on the ground, cleared the scene for their safety, and then started life-saving efforts on him. However, he was declared deceased at the scene. After that, 2 other state troopers also showed up on scene. Our detectives arrived on scene. They conducted interviews with the officers on scene, photographed the area, downloaded body-worn cameras, in-car videos, and did round counts for all the officers to ensure that no rounds were fired. On scene again were 2 troopers, 2 Capitol Security officers, 2 Lansing Township PD officers, and also 2 LPD officers. Search was done after the scene was secure of McCray's residence with a search warrant that was authored by MSU PD along with LPD. At the residence, a cell phone was collected, journals of sorts, miscellaneous writings, and fired 9mm casings. McRae's father was also interviewed on scene by the MSP detectives at the Lansing Operations Building.
That is part of the investigation in terms of his connection to MSU. We can find no connection to MSU at this time. He was not a current student, faculty, staff, or a former student, faculty, staff. We are aware of that claim as well. We are investigating it, and I don't have an answer for you right now, but it will be reviewed as part of our investigation.